Welcome to the AWS series. In this session, we'll learn about AWS VPC, subnets, routing tables, and internet gateway. What is VPC? How to create a new VPC? How to define the CIDR IP addressing range? And what is subnet? How to create public and private subnets? So, with the public and private subnet, how we can declare the CIDR IP addresses allocation? And what is internet gateway? And how to create the internet gateway and attach to the VPC. What is routing tables? How to create routing tables and associate with public and private subnets. And along with this, we will look how to create the virtual machines under public subnet and private subnet, and we will connect the VM under the public subnet, and we will connect the private subnet virtual machine using public subnet machine, and we'll try to access the internet in the private subnet virtual machine or EC2 instance. Step by step we will look out. The first, how we can create the new VPC. We will go to the Chrome and you can type awsamazon.com, so it will access the AWS console and log into the AWS console. If you are already registered, you can log into the AWS portal. Provide your username and password. Select which region you want to create your VPC. Select the region. The regions are available in the top right side section. You will have multiple regions here. So if you are comparable with the Singapore, you can select the Singapore, or you can select the US regions. So I am going with the Singapore region and type VPC in search box. You will get the VPC service information and click the VPC. So here we need to create the new VPC. This is the dashboard of VPC dashboard. Here all the VPCs, nat-gateway, subnets, route tables, internet gateway, other informations are showing in the dashboard. So right now I am creating a new VPC. You can use this create VPC button or go to VPC section. By default you will have a VPC. By default it is created when you have the account in the AWS, and you want to create the new VPC. Click create VPC. There are two options are available: VPC only and VPC and more. VPC and more means you need to create VPC along with subnets, route table, and internet gateway other settings. So right now I am going with the basic option, VPC only. I am giving the VPC name project 01. So I want to declare a IPv4 CIDR IP addresses range. So one of the easiest way to identify the IP address configuration. So you can open the CIDR calculator, and before going to the IP addresses, so there are three types of CIDR ranges are available for VPC. You can use 10.0.0.0 and 172.16.0.0 and 192.168.0.0. These are all preferable IP addresses ranges. So the other IP address will be allocated to some other different services. If you are using those IP address, it will be conflict with the AWS services. So you can use this 10.172.192. series for your VPC. Using 172.16.0. Go console and 172.16.0.0. So how many IP addresses are required for my VPC? How many machines, how many services I will use in this VPC? So based on that, you need to give the subnet mask. Subnet mask will come in the 2-digit number. So total 32 bits are available. You need to give the one number. So 32 minus that number, it will come as a 2 to the power of that value. So based on that, it will be showing like this. You need to go to the net calculator, you can select 172.16.0.0.0 and you can select 24. By 24 will give the 256 IPs for your VPC and the range start from 0 to 255. So there are 256 IP addresses are available. The bits are by 24. You need to give this 2, 4, 24. 32 minus 24 means 8. 2 to the power of 8 will come 256. So I have given the 24 and I am creating the VPC. Once we are created the VPC, this dashboard information showing about the VPC information, and you will get a new route table for this VPC. One route table will be created and this VPC traffic will routed to this. So there are 24. This is the IP address CIDR range. So under this VPC you can use 256 IP addresses. Okay, clear. So I am going to create a subnet. Subnets are useful to categorize the IP addresses for different uses. So you can create public subnet, you can create private subnet. So based on your requirement, you can categorize the IP addresses based on in the range. Right now, this is by default created subnet. So I am creating a 4 subnets like this is VPC creation slide and subnet creation slide, and I am creating the 4 subnet, 2 public subnets, 2 private subnets. The ranges will start from 0 to 28 bit means 64 addresses is allocated and this 0 01 and 64 is starting from the 02 and 128 starting from 03 and 192 starting from 02 private subnet. So I need to allocate that VPC's subnets. So I am selecting the VPC. This is create subnets window. Select the VPC. The range is showing 24. 24 means 256 IP addresses will be available. You can see this is, and how you are getting 4 blocks means 64. You can give the 172.0.0.26. 26 will come as a 64 IP address. So here public subnet 01. No need to select any availability zone. If you want to prefer, you can select it, otherwise leave it. And IP address range is 172.16.0.0 by 26. 26 will come 64 IP addresses in one block. So what is the starting range? 0 to 63. 0 to 63 it will be allocated to this public subnet. And I want to add one more subnet. Public subnet. What is the name? We can maintain the naming convention. Subnet 02. No availability zone preference. 172.16.0.63 is already allocated. I am selecting 64 and 26 is the subnet mask. So it will start from 64 and ends with the 127. So I am going to create one more subnet. Private subnet 01. No availability zone preference and 172.16.0.64 plus 64 127 it will come 128 by 256. So this is allocating 128 by 626 and final one more subnet 02. No selection for availability zone and 172.16.0.128. Sorry, 192. 128 is already allocated. 192 by 26. The leftover 64 IP address will be allocated to private subnet. Click create subnet. 4 subnets are created. So what is the use of these 4 subnets? 2 subnets are public subnets, 2 are private subnets. Public subnets are interacting with the internet gateway and access to the internet services, means you can able to access the internet under this public subnet EC2 instances or services. So private subnet is not connecting to the internet gateway and we will use this is private virtual machines or EC2 instances. So subnets are created. The next step is go to route table. By default, one route table is created. Here, this is the route table, our VPC route table. So I changed the name and I want to create one more route table. Why it is required? So I want to use one route table for my public subnets, one route table to the private subnet. So create route table, my private RT01. I'm selecting the VPC and this VPC is allocated to this route table and create route table. So route table is created. So if you go to the route table section, there are two route tables are available. Project one, this is public related. Just I will change this name, little bit easy to understand. My pub RT01. Simple way to understand. One is public, one is private. So for public, I need to associate the subnets only to here that four subnets are listed. Subnets without explicit association. Explicit subnet association. You can click this one and select the public and save. So the main route table is associated with the two subnets and the private subnets is associated with another two or leftover two subnets, private two subnets. So the traffic is moving to these two route tables. If you go to the VPC, select the VPC and look the resource map. New option is provided by the AWS. You can see VPC and four subnets. Two subnets are public route table, two subnets are private route table. But this public is not connected with the internet gateway. This internet gateway we need to create and this internet gateway need to connect with the VPC. Here internet gateway need to create and connect with the VPC. Go to internet gateways. This is by default previous one VPC related internet gateway. So I am creating new internet gateway. Create internet gateway. Give a name to new internet gateway. Project IZ. IZ means internet gateway and 01. Just I given a name and I am creating internet gateway. So once you created the internet gateway, you need to associate or attach to VPC. You can see attach to a VPC. Click this one. That internet gateway need to work with my VPC. So I am selecting the my VPC information and I am giving the attach option. So if you go to the VPC, select the VPC name and click the resource map, it will showing to this one. You can see this is project internet gateway is available, but these route tables are not interacting with the internet gateway. So I need to provide this public route table need to connect with the internet gateway. Go to route tables, public route table and check the routes. This is local interaction IP address range with the same type of instances activity or these routes. So I need to add new route for this. Click edit routes and add route. So destination should be open. Anything in the world or in internet world, you can select the 0000 and target should be network gateway or internet gateway. What are the instance, what are the options are available, but here I am selecting the internet gateway. So I am selecting the internet gateway. It will show the our internet gateway information here. Select it and save the changes. So my internet gateway is associated or attached with the public subnet route table. You can see 00 this is showing and here. So you can go to the VPC and select the resource map. You can see some dotted line is interacted with the internet gateway. So the exercise is completed. I have created a VPC, I have created the subnets, I have created the route tables, I have created the network internet gateway, and the public subnets is interacting with the internet gateway. Clear? So next we will create EC2 instance under public subnet and one more instance under private subnet. go to EC2 service and go to instances, and the IP address is allocated to VPC that will allocate to the instances in private IP address, like private IP addresses will be taken from that value from the VPC. Select the instances. There is no instances available. Click launch instance. So right now I am going to create a public subnet instance. My pub simple main server 01. I am selecting the Ubuntu and the free tier is eligible, and I am selecting T2 micro, and I am selecting a key pair. I have already one key pair. SG key is there. Maybe the key is available or not. I will create new key pair. SG demo rsak.pm. Create key pair. Once you create the new key pair, automatically it will download into your system. And go to networking settings. By default, it will show the your default VPC information, subnet information. Just you need to change with your VPC, and this is a subnets list, public 0102, private 0102. I am selecting public subnet. You can see there are 59 IP addresses are available, and 01 means it is starting from 0 to 64. 5 IP addresses are allocated to default services, the network gateway, the entry point, like that. Default services will be utilized 5 IP addresses. The rest leftover 59 IP addresses is available for your instances. Okay, and select the public IP enable option because this is public subnet, and create a security group, or you can select existing security groups if there is any security groups available. Just I am creating a new security group as the demo project 1. And this default security group is associated with the SSH protocol 22, and it is accessible from the anywhere, means any device or any system can access this machine with the connectivity, SSH connectivity. So I'm giving the 8 GB of the hard disk, and I am trying to launch the instance. The instance launch is failed. Group names may not be from the security groups. Okay. Edit instance config. Go to security group. With that. Yes. Demo project 01 SG. Oh, right. I given that and try to create the launch instance button. It is successfully launched the instance. So if I go to the instances, the process is in progress. The instance state is pending. Once the status is running, then the status check will come as a 2 by 2. So the machine is ready to connect. So before that, I will go to my downloads folder and I'll check this SG demo PM file. Yeah, I'll copy to this folder into my one of the section called tools, because I am copying all the PM files into this folder. Okay, so in this folder I will launch git bash to connect the machine with the SSH mechanism. So it will be easy to use. Git bash is very easy to use. So instance state is running, and this initialize status check is in progress. Okay. is in progress. So in the time I will create one more instance under private subnet. So go to launch instances, my private 01 server, so my private 01 server Ubuntu OS. I'm selecting the Ubuntu, so the same 22 point Ubuntu OS T2 micro, and the key I'm selecting the same key, or right now I have created new key SG demo. I'm using this SG demo. So I want to select the network settings, go to VPC, select my VPC and select my private subnet. You can see there are 59 IP addresses are available and it is starting from 172.16.0.128. So no need of assigning public IP. So selecting existing security group, because already I have a security group called as a demo project GR101SG and 8 GB, and create the machine. So I created one machine under public subnet and one machine under private subnet. If you see the public subnet, select that machine and you can see IP address will be allocated. The IPv4 address is allocated as 16.0.61. So fine, last IP address is allocated here. This is my public IP address. I will connect this public IP address machine with my git bash. So here if you see this files list, I have the key called sgdemo.pem. Once you downloaded the key, you need to edit the key permission chmod 400 and sgdemo.pem. You need to change the permission for that key, then you can execute the ssh command to connect the machine. ssh-i, the key name and the username of the machine Ubuntu at the IP address of the machine 13.214.30.67. Once you click, the authentication process will verifies the key is valid or not, and you can press yes, permanently added in the list of users, and it is showing 772.16.0.61. So I am clearing the screen, and you can use sudo apt get, otherwise sudo apt update. So by default you are connecting the internet service, so internet gateway, so you will get the updates into your system. So it is working fine. So I'm updating the service, updating the files, everything using that command. So it is updated, upgraded, and the internet service is working fine. So this is my public subnet machine. So I'm going into the console. I'll check one more machine is ready. Still it is in progress. Go to slide. So these are the IP addresses range I utilized. So I created routing table. By default routing table 1 is created when you're creating the VPC, and routing table 2 is created, and internet gateway is created and associated with the public subnet 01 and 02. So yeah, my private machine also ready. If you select the private machine, there is no IP address because we are not allocated, and private type subnet is not contains any public IP address. So it is showing 172.16.0.184. So how can I connect this machine? You can create a public subnet virtual machine or EC2 instance. This is considered as a jump server. You can consider as a bastion server. Using this machine, you can connect the private subnet, private EC2 instance like SSH. The EC2 instance key is SG demo. This same key I utilized for two machines. You can see here also it is showing SG demo. Here it is key name. Both keys are same, but if you tried from this virtual machine to that machine, it is not successful because there is no sg demo pem file inside this system. So before this, you need to copy the pem file from your system to this public subnet, this machine, this main server machine. I am creating a directory to store the key. Simple way, if you see the ls, the key folder is showing pwd. Let's see, home ubuntu key folder. So from my system, I'm opening one more bash. Yeah, you can see this is my machine. Here I will copy the file from my system to main server machine. And what is the command? sc copy, sorry, scp hyphen I, which machine you want to connect, that key name sgdemo, which file you want to copy. You can give the one file name, or you can give star dot the multiple files also. So I'm giving star.pem, so multiple files it will go. So that's why I'm giving xgdemo.pem. One is connectivity file, one is copying into the system. So then ubuntu at the IP address of the machine, the IP address of the machine, public IP address 13.214.30.67. So yes, that is copied. You can see here in ls key there is no files in the key folder. Right now I'm copying this file from my system to this one. Command is scp, the connectivity file, key file, and copying file name and ubuntu and IP address and the path home ubuntu / key. So if everything is goes successful, so the file will be copied into this. So where is the file is not available, the copy file name is wrong, so I'm giving the perfect name. You can see the file is copied and come to this machine and type is ls. It is showing the file name. Then you can provide the command called ssh -isg demo pem ubuntu and at the rate of the private IP address of the private subnet machine. You can see there is no public IP address. Just take the private IP address and paste here 184. So permission denied. So what we need to do? chmod 400 ubuntu at xgdemo.pem. You need to change the permission and again execute the same command. Done. You can see 184. 184 means second machine. The private subnet machine is connected from first machine. And try to install or try to update the server. It will not work because there is no internet connectivity with this private subnet. So if required any internet or updates or patchings need to do in this server, so how can I do that? Go to AWS console and select the nat-gateway option. It is available under VPC. Go to VPC, go to nat-gateway, create a nat-gateway. Internet gateway is useful for public subnets and internet accessibility. nat-gateway is connects with the private subnet and a limited internet services, one-way direction from the instance level. From the instance level it will be useful. My nat test, which subnets you want to connect, private private subnet 01. And for the NAT gateway, you need to allocate a elastic IP address. Sorry, the NAT gateway you need to create under public subnet. So you can select the public subnet. You want to create the NAT gateway under the public subnet because of you need a elastic IP address. If your the IP address is allocated, you can select here. Otherwise, allocate elastic IP. Automatically, it is allocated the one of the IP address and to this NAT gateway, and you can create the NAT gateway. So it will be created in short time. Just wait. NAT gateways. Still it is pending. NAT gateway ID is created. State is pending. The primary IPv4 address, private IP address, the public IP address need to wait. So the IP address will be allocated once it is ready. So it will be allocated. So NAT gateway is in progress. While creation the NAT gateway, you have created an elastic IP address. The elastic IP address is listed here. So once you delete the NAT gateway, you need to delete this elastic IP address. You need to release because these are all very limited to use and little bit costing to your account. So I'm going to NAT gateway. Still it is pending. Why it is slow? Yeah, it is available. This is completed. You can see 18.143. This is the IP address. So once you create the NAT gateway, go to subnets. The two subnets are available here, private 01, private 02. These two subnets is routing is available in the route tables. One route. This is the route table is allocated to two subnets. You need to select routes. Already you selected the subnet associations. Two subnets are there. Select the routes and edit the route table and add the route. For public subnet, you are added the 0000 as an internet gateway. Here you can add as a NAT gateway the destination 0, and you can add the NAT gateway and click save changes. So once the process is completed, if you go to the VPC and look into the resource map, it is showing private subnet is associated with the NAT gateway. You can see this line is interacting with the NAT gateway. And go to the window, and it is failed because there is no internet service, and clear the screen and try to execute the same command in the private subnet EC2 instance. The same command sudo apt update. Great, it is working fine. In this session, VPC creation, subnet creation, CIDR range allocation, internet gateway, route table, and NAT gateway. So if you go to the same machine, so you can see everything is updated. The 194 machine also accessing the internet service. So thanks for the session.